Welcome back to the Weather Crew. In this one, we are going to be looking at pretty much the last update for tonight on this winter storm. So we're going to be looking at some areas like in Massachusetts where the totals have went down dramatically because the storm has moved south. So if you guys are in now Waterbury, Connecticut, south of Hartford, in this color right here, you're expecting 8 to 12 inches still. I do think that's very possible still for 8 to 12 inches, very likely. Outside of that, the Cape Cod area, Boston, potentially 6 to 8 inches, and 4 to 6, Springfield, Fitchburg, Lawrence, Greenfield, Pittsfield, Great Britain. Those are all under that 4 to 6. Even Tarragent, but Waterbury, you guys are under that 8 to 12. New London, 4 to 6. Oaks Bluffs, 4 to 6. Nantucket, 4 to 6. Hayen, 6 to 8. Provincetown, 6 to 8. Plymouth, 8 to 12. BO, 6 to 8. Or New Boot, BO. Charlestown, 4 to 6 to 6 to 8. That is the latest thinking on here. Quickly, let me just update it again, make sure that nothing has changed with the latest thinking now from the National Weather Service. And no, not really. Boston, like I said, 6 to 8. The Waterbury, yeah, that looks pretty similar as I was looking at before. Now we're going to take a look at northern Pennsylvania, where Scranton is. And this number has went down dramatically too. You guys are in Scranton, probably only 6 to 8 inches just south of Scranton, maybe 8 to 12. But the totals have went down here because it has moved such more south. But still 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 3 to 5, as you can tell as the colors go there, but not as what we were thinking about earlier in time. Now let's take a look at Central PA. Your totals have varied. You guys are in that yellow, like I said, 6 to 8 inches, but most of you guys are in that 3 to 5 to maybe 4 to 6. In the tan colors, 6 to 8. Harrisburg goes under that 4 to 6. Whoever's under these little patches could be in for a few more inches, like 6 to 8 inches. Now, let's take a look at another area. This is northern New York. Latest thinking, still 12 to 18 inches over here. Right here, yeah. And yeah, that has moved south significantly. Damn. 8 to 12 inches. That has continued to move down. That actually needs to be updated, I think. But there it is, the National Weather Service latest thinking on the eastern Pennsylvania, eastern New Jersey area, and they're thinking about pretty much everywhere 6 to 8 inches. I I think right now 6 to 10 inches are very likely. Maybe some spots reaching a little higher depending on those heavier bands, because that's going to really depend. Um, like New York, you guys are under for that 6 to 8. Long Island, 8 to 12. Um, Allentown, 4 to 6. Philly, 2 to 3, potentially. But if we take a look at the models, the latest thinking of the models, or let's take a look at satellite. Satellite that can help us. Where is this storm at? Stands as of right now. It's pretty much in Kentucky. If you had to give me a pinpoint on where this low pressure it's exactly pinpointed, best rotation I would say is on the northern side of this broader circulation. If we look at the long wave, you could tell by the rotation in here. Probably the latest. Let me. Short wave, maybe? No. Oh, short wave could work. You can tell with the latest thinking where the low pressure might be is in the northern side. So right now I'm thinking the low pressure is around here, that upper level. Going to be moving pretty much like this and move like that and then becoming nor'easter and pretty much move out like that. So northern side's big amount of snow potentially, but a lot more southern system than expected a few days ago. All right. Um Now let's take a look at the models. What are the models thinking? Because this is going to really depend for a lot of years. I think the models have done pretty bad with this one. It hasn't been this bad in a while. I really think the models just haven't been able to get a grip on this system, especially the Euro. I think that was a little overdone in the 12Z, but that has moved south lately. Um, if you guys are looking at Pennsylvania, um, West Virginia, um, New Jersey right now, there it is, but low pressure back in Western Kentucky, like I was thinking, going to continue to move north, then there, and then starts transforming into another low there. But in that time, it's going to be bringing some very heavy snow. I do think the Her is a bit like that, so and not even as strong as a low anymore. I mean, it's still strong, but we were expecting a 982, 980. Now it's more up to a 985. So maybe not as strong as we were projecting, but total snow accumulations with the latest run. If you guys are in Allentown, the Lehigh Valley, anywhere from 6 to 8 inches with the Herb. Just south of Allentown, 10, even 12 inches. Philly up to maybe 7 inches, New York up to 6 inches, even southern areas here much lower. Scranton, you guys know, like 3 to 5 inches. So it's more like a tight now gradient of the snowstorm than previous, and it's pretty impressive. It's still snowing in Boston, and these are the total snow ratios. I think maybe on the northern ends of this, it could be more into that 10-to-1 ratios like in New England. So maybe more over here into that 10-to-1 ratio than the Croatia that shows less because it takes out of that 10-to-1 and really puts it in that wet snow type. So this is a very heavy wet snow, and a big thing is going to be the temperatures are going to be another thing. I do think the temperatures will easily drop. It's been dropping pretty dramatically, pretty good now for most. The wind gust, I do think for everybody will be picking up 30, 40 miles an hour. So some blowing snow in the morning, very cold temperatures, but marginal cold, enough for the snow, enough for the sticking. The precipit's going to be coming down heavy, and that is what I am thinking with the Her model, how it's showing. Could it be a little bit more? I do think it's possible. Hers being has dropped a bit from their totals. I will admit that it has dropped a bit from their totals. Latest rap thinking, um, pretty much the same thinking, just a little bit more further north, where pretty much everyone gets up to about 10 inches potentially, a little bit more bullish, maybe up to a foot in some spots. I think there's a little overdone near the coastal areas there, but once again, it, it's going to be a close call. It really is, depending how the storm already shapes up. I do think it's already shaping up pretty good as of right now to be an impactful system. If we take a look at the nail model, you guys are easily looking at quite a bit of snow. You're looking at the total snow ratios. Boom. Pretty much everyone's seeing at least a half a foot, maybe more of that heavy wet snow with those gusty winds. That is what the latest model thinking, but the models haven't been doing that good. So I won't rely all on the models, but I think right now they have a pretty good regional where they have come together as of right now. like again, average 6 to 8, pretty much right here. That's why my forecast has probably not have that 8 plus, more like the 6 to 10, maybe locally 10, um 10 or higher. I do think is possible. Really depending on how those heavy snow bands really take. I think right now it is pretty much setting up pretty good and definitely could be a nice storm for many. Third winter storm for most, so we're gonna be stacking on the snow and hoping for the more. But wind gusts, pretty strong, 30, 40 miles an hour. I think is going to be very likely, and we'll have to wait and see. The GFS thinking as of right now, the latest 0Z total snow ratios, potentially up to a foot on the GFS. New York too, Philly. I mean, this has moved southern enough where I think this is now going to be the bullseye, and I think the trends are done. So I think this is pretty much it. And honestly, if I was this, I'm moving my forecast south. I have to admit, I think now my forecast has Philly under that 3 to 5. I think that I think right now Philly's under that 3 to 5. There's that 4 to there's that 1 inch mark. I think is going to be pretty much south like that. I'll put it like that. Um, there's that 3 to 5. I think the 4 to 8 or that um. Let me think. Let me think. Pretty much in the blue, you guys are expecting 1 inch at least. In that darker blue, 1 to 3. I think in that darker blue, 3 to 5, and I think in this purple, where I'm gonna move it down just outside of Philly now, and I think even New York, you guys are now expecting getting that 4 to 8. I think now that 4 to 8 is very likely, and then I think now Lehigh Valley is definitely in the shot for that 5. I'm gonna put 5 to 10. I'm gonna put 6 to 10 inches. Honestly, I think I might. Um, and I think I'm gonna put that. This is for that pretty much 5 to 10 inches in the red. If you guys are in that red, I'm thinking in that purple. Lighter blue, 1 to 2 inches. I'm gonna put that as that. Darker blue, 2 to 4 inches. And that darker blue, 4 to 6 inches. And then 6 to 8 in the purple. And then in the red, 8. No. Potentially in that purple, I'm thinking 6, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. All right, 6 to 10 inches locally higher. I think the bullseye is in that red. I think this is right now the bullseye. You can probably bring this down 1. You can probably bring this down 1. All these can go down by 1 because how far this has moved. I think even the Scranton area is probably a bit done. I think this is probably think this is probably the latest thinking. A lot more south. I think you could probably bring down that purple up there. That is what I'm gonna do. Probably put that for that. So that's my and then probably bring the 3 to 5. Bring down this line by 2. Bring down that. Bring down that. And bring down that. I think this is my latest thinking. Very smush, a lot more southern. But I think this is my final forecast. And I'm gonna probably make a quick short on my snowfall map after this video. So that's my latest thinking. And before I go, I would like to take a look at the weather radar. Alright, the radar. We're gonna take a look at the radar, see the landscape of everything. But there's my latest snowfall forecast. I think it's gonna be close to right. A lot of people are in that 4 to 8s, maybe that 6 to 10. It could throw some curveballs too. All right. Radar. Um, I think okay. So you can tell in the northern PA, definitely starting to snow more. Some snow bands, especially breaking out just north of Harrisburg. Look at all this heavy rain. This is what I'm waiting on. All this heavy rain to continue to form and make it into that snow. That's what I'm thinking. That heavy snow is gonna really break out. I think that's gonna be the bullseye. There's the low on absolute radar. Bowling. Absolutely bombing right there with the latest thinking on that. But we looking into the future radar. Actually, let's just take a look at 10. Look at how the radar has really gained moisture, and I think that's going to be the calling key. At 12, there it is. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 a.m. It is snowing hard. 4 a.m. snowing even harder. 5 a.m. Look at from 4 to 5. And then there's that little. I mean, it's snowing very hard in 5 a.m. I feel you guys are just outside of it. So that's the latest thinking with the future radar, my snowfall forecast, the models, the National Weather Service. I don't think I can get into any more information with this. It's now honestly the radar, the ground observations, and just see how this night goes. So see you guys tomorrow. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great night.